God is saying this is going to be the biggest punishment for you on June 16th. Someone is about to leave you for a reason you cannot ignore in life. There are moments when we are tested in ways that challenge our understanding of love, relationships, and faith. It's not easy to hear that someone you love and trust is about to leave you, especially when the reasons behind it are deeply painful. But this message is one of divine importance. God is speaking to you today, warning you about something significant that will happen on June 16th. Someone close to you is about to leave, and this departure might very well feel like the biggest punishment you have faced in a long time. But trust in God's timing, His wisdom, and His purpose behind it. This is a difficult message to bear, but the pain you are about to face has been forewarned for a reason. God is not sending this message to hurt you, but rather He is revealing the truth to you so that you can understand the greater purpose behind the situation and walk in the faith that will lead you to healing, restoration, and ultimately closer communion with Him. What feels like a loss may be in fact a blessing in disguise, a necessary step in God's plan for you and your future. The meaning of this punishment, why it's happening. It's important to begin by understanding the nature of this punishment in the Bible. God's punishments are not always meant to be punishments in the traditional sense. Often they are corrections, teaching moments, and opportunities for growth and transformation. The story of the Israelites is a prime example of this. When they faced difficult times, it was often because they had turned away from God's teachings, and He allowed them to experience hardship so that they could return to Him with a whole heart. The person who is about to leave you might have been someone you relied on, someone you loved, someone you trusted with your heart. But as you will come to understand, this departure is not just about that person's choice. It is part of a larger divine plan. This person's leaving is not just an act of abandonment. It is a divine opportunity for you to learn, grow, and ultimately become closer to God. Here's what you need to know. 1. God uses loss for growth. Loss is not easy, and you may feel as though a part of you is being ripped away, but God allows loss to bring about growth. In the Bible we see numerous examples of people going through seasons of loss that led to greater intimacy with God. For example, Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, yet through that loss he was elevated to a position of great influence in Egypt, ultimately saving his family and the nation. The pain Joseph experienced was real, but through it God's purpose was fulfilled. In the same way, the person who is about to leave you is part of God's bigger plan for your life. This person may have been a source of comfort or companionship, but they may not have been the person God intended for you to remain with forever. It's hard to let go, but sometime God removes people from our lives who might be holding us back from His greater purpose for us. Trust that He is working behind the scenes, and that you will emerge from this season stronger, wiser, and more aligned with His will. 2. God's plan is not always what we expect. When God allows someone to leave your life, it may seem as though your world is falling apart, but this is often a time when God's plans for you are coming to fruition in ways you can't see. Yet the truth is that God's ways are higher than our ways, and His plan is always better than our own. It may not feel like it in the moment, but this is a divine redirect, an opportunity for you to step into a new Season of growth and fulfillment. Isaiah 55:8-9 says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Trust that God is working in ways that are beyond your understanding, and that what might seem like a loss now will eventually be seen as a gain in the future. What you should do. How to prepare your heart for this departure. It is normal to feel afraid, anxious, or uncertain when someone you love is about to leave. However, God calls you to trust in His sovereignty and seek His comfort during this difficult time. Here are the steps you can take to prepare your heart. 1. Surrender to God's will. The first step is to surrender. Surrendering is not about giving up, it's about giving God control over your situation. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight." When you surrender your heart and your circumstances to God, you are acknowledging that His plan is better than yours. Even if it hurts, even if it's painful, God will give you the strength to endure. Trust that He is in control of your situation and that He will never leave you. 2. Seek peace in God's presence. Prayer is your weapon in times of uncertainty. Take time to be still in God's presence and seek His peace. Ask Him for the strength to endure this pain and for the wisdom to understand why this is happening. Even though you may not understand the full picture, ask God to show you His purpose for this season of your life. Philippians 4:6-7 tells us, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition with thanksgiving present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Allow God's peace to guard your heart as you navigate the pain of someone leaving. Don't allow bitterness or anger to take root. Forgiveness and peace will open the door for healing. 3. Reflect on your relationship with this person. As you prepare for this departure, reflect on your relationship with the person who is leaving. This is not a time to blame or hold grudges. Instead, ask God to help you see things through His eyes. Maybe this person served a purpose in your life for a season, and now that season is ending. Instead of focusing on the pain of their departure, focus on what you can learn from the relationship. What lessons has God taught you through this person? How has this relationship shaped you into the person you are today? Thank God for the time you had together and release them with love and grace. For prepare for the new season ahead. As this person leaves, know that God is making room for something new in your life. New relationships, new opportunities, and new growth are on the horizon. This departure might be painful, but it is also a preparation for a new season of fruitfulness in your life. Be ready to embrace what God has in store for you. Next, Isaiah 43 call 18-19 says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing now, it springs up, do you not perceive it?" God is always doing new things in our lives. Be open to the newness He is about to bring into your life. What happens after the departure? The blessing of letting go. After February 2nd, when the person has Left you may feel the weight of emptiness and loss, but God promises that He will never leave you or forsake you, even if this departure feels like the biggest punishment you have ever faced. It is not the end of your story, it is only a chapter in a much bigger narrative that God is writing for you. He is working things together for your good, even when you cannot see the end result, the restoration of your heart. When you let go of the things that God is asking you to release, He will restore your heart. Psalm 34:18 assures us the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Though it may take time, God will heal the wounds caused by this departure. He will replace your pain with His joy, your sorrow with His peace, and your emptiness with His fullness. Trust that God has a divine purpose for everything that is happening in your life, and that this season, though painful, will bring you closer to Him. June 16th might mark the end of one chapter, but it is the beginning of something greater that God has in store for you. In conclusion, trusting God through the pain of loss. Though the person's departure might feel like the biggest punishment you have ever faced, it is not the end. God is doing a new thing in your life, and this loss is just part of the process. Trust Him as He walks you through the pain, guides you toward healing, and leads you into a new season of purpose and growth. You are not alone in this. God is with you, and He will never leave you. Hold fast to His promises, surrender your heart to His will, and embrace the future He has prepared for you. The best is yet to come.